What's going on, everyone? My name's Andy and welcome to my Game Week 24 preview for FPL, a weekly video where I run you through the key talking points for the week coming up, kind of what's just happened in Game Week 23, and then I look towards my own team, so what kind of transfers I'm looking at, what rank I'm at right now, and the captain I'm looking at choosing for the following game week. So we'll just jump straight into it and start straight off with the key talking points for this week. So I want to do it slightly differently from last week. Last week I spoke about my team and then we did the key talking points, but I know not everyone wants to know what I'm doing with my team, so let's start off straight away with the key talking points, starting with Chelsea. So a lot of you maybe still have Hazard and Morata. I've had them up until the last couple of weeks, and I think now is probably the time to get rid of them. I know they've still got good fixtures coming up, but defence really looks like where it's at with Chelsea right now, especially Alonso. They've kept loads of clean sheets in the recent fixtures, and they're just not scoring many goals. Hazard is playing okay. In previous fixtures, he's playing really well. He's just not producing the FPL points. Obviously, got that penalty recently. Morata's just not doing anything at all. He's barely scored a goal since kind of the first half of the season we've had, so the first quarter of the season. And his confidence just looks shot. And I don't know about Conte either. His demeanour he just looks down, like nothing's going right for him right now. Obviously, last year they looked full of confidence, but that's easy to be when you're winning. It's the same with Man City right now. All their players look full of confidence because they're winning, and Chelsea just aren't right now. We saw what happened to them a couple of seasons ago when they just kind of almost capitulated and finished down the league table outside top 4, top 6, etc. So I don't think that's quite going to happen now, but I think even with the good fixtures, there's so much value out there that if you're holding Hazard and Morata, you can swap them. Morata, for example, Firmino, Vardy, maybe you could even upgrade to Aguero. We're going to talk about him later. So if you are holding them, let me know in the comments below what your plans are with them. I know it's tempting to keep because of the fixtures, but at some point enough is enough, because otherwise you're just going to keep telling yourself one more week, one more week, one more week, and how many points have you already missed out on? So I can see why you might keep them, but in my opinion, it's probably worth getting rid of them right now. And then going to another team in London, Arsenal. Looks like they're going to be selling Alexis Sanchez. At the moment, nothing's confirmed, so I'm not going to talk about this too much because it could all turn out to not happen. He might remain at Arsenal for the rest of the season, then go for a free in the summer. But yeah, it looks like Alexis Sanchez is going. I don't know if we talked about him last week, but last week he was apparently going to Man City. That now looks to be off the table. Man United is the prime destination for him. They're willing to pay him the money that he wants. It sounds like a lot of money, up to like 350, 400,000. But when you're buying a player like him for only 20 to 30 million, it sounds like, that's actually, I guess, quite cheap in today's market. I know it's a ridiculous amount of money, but the amount of money the players are going for right now, that sounds okay to me. Now, if he goes to Man United, does he suddenly become an option? I'm still not sure. He's 11.8 million, and we're going to keep talking about value, and I did it with Chelsea, obviously, getting rid of their assets, saying that there's more value elsewhere. I think the same could be said of Sanchez. There's just Salah and Sterling. Salah's still only just over 10 million. Sterling's around 9. And they've gone up loads already, and they've just been producing the points. Then you've got Son, Arnautovic, players like that. I'm basically going through my team right now, but Mahrez is there as well, 8.6 million. Or even all Brighton's doing okay. Ibe at Bournemouth is just done okay, and it's got underlying stats there to back it up. So there's lots of value in midfield, and I think for 11.8 million, I'm going to want to see a lot more from Sanchez. Now, the good thing about him going to Man United, not Man City, is that he's more likely to play every game. I'm sure he would have started most games for Man City, but for Man United, you'd expect him in, like Pogba, like Lukaku, every game that he's fit. So it just depends where he's going to play. Now, obviously for Arsenal, he played most of his career on the left. So that would be taking up kind of Martial and Rashford, who've been kind of taking that spot for Man United this year. I don't know if that's what Mourinho's going to do, and if he does, I think it's a mistake, because I think Martial's got talent there and it needs to be developed. So the other options are playing him on the right, in which case Mata would go. He's the one that's mostly playing on the right. To me, that's probably my favourite thing. I like Mata. He's a bit of creative player, but when it comes to pace, he just kind of slows things down. Obviously, Alexis a lot faster. Got Lukaku kind of up front, the target man, and we'd have Martial, Lingard, and Sanchez, which would be a great three behind Lukaku, I think. It could be that Sanchez takes over from Lingard and plays as number 10. Basically, we don't know. Either way, there's potential problems there, because he could take Lingard's spot, who a lot of us have just got in. He could take Martial's spot. Probably not many of us are punting on him right now, but he's possibly an option. Or he comes on the right and does really well, and we struggled to get him in for 11.8 million. But just keep an eye on him, because he could also be a knock-on transfer, because we'll have to obviously see what Arsenal do with that money, bringing in other players. They've been linked with Malcolm and Aubameyang, who could be really good. Aubameyang would add another striker to the mix, which is always good. It's been decent for Borussia Dortmund in the past few seasons, so hopefully he'll come rock up in the Premier League and just hit the ground running. But we'll see what happens there. But keep an eye on Sanchez. Right now, my thinking is, as a fan, I'd love him to be at Man United. From an FPL manager, I'm not too bothered right now because of his price. But come, say, a double game week where Man United got 2 good fixtures, I'd definitely be looking at Sanchez. So, moving on to transfers, another Arsenal player. Not an Arsenal player anymore. He now plays for Everton. Theo Walcott, 7.1 million. Now, that's a pretty good price, I think. In terms of kind of players we're looking at, like I said, Arnautovic like around the 6.4 million mark. Same for Lingard. Then you got Ramsey, who just came back on the bench. He's more around the 7 million mark. Son's 8 million. So Walcott fits in there somewhere in between. Now, he's not really got a first-team place for Arsenal for a long time, so we don't know how rusty he's going to be. But he's been, along with Aguero and Suarez, of course, Van Persie in his heyday, Theo Walcott has been described as FPL gold. Now, that term doesn't get used that too often for too many different players. It gets used a fair bit, I suppose, but for certain players, it doesn't get used that often. So Theo Walcott could be good for 7.1 million. It'd be interesting to see where he fits in at Everton. I'm assuming he's probably not going to play striker because they've just signed Cenk Tosun. So he's probably going to play on the right. Now, in my opinion, Big Sam needs to drop Rooney, play Theo Walcott on the right, Balassi on the left, and then Sigurdsson in the middle. Because right now, Sigurdsson's being played out of position for Wayne Rooney, who isn't a better player than Sigurdsson. Sigurdsson should be played there. He's a better player than Rooney. Rooney doesn't fit like right or left. He's not a good central midfielder, I don't think, compared to what they've got. So Rooney should be out of the team. Anyway, I won't digress too much because that probably won't happen. But either way, you'd imagine Theo Walcott gets straight in that team. Everton have got very good fixtures. The only problem is Big Sam has kind of taken them, although he's getting more points, or at least he did when he first got in, and maybe winning a couple of games here or there. It's only like 1-0. They've actually regressed when it comes to attacking. So we'll have to see if Theo Walcott changes that. He's obviously going to add some much-needed pace to that attack. So I'm really interested to Walcott. I actually got him in. We did a redraft in one of my draft leagues recently, and I got Theo Walcott in case he moved. So I think Everton's a good pick. So, yeah, got my eye on him. I don't think... Again, there's so much, I hate to keep using this word, value in midfield. Not only that, so many of the players are scoring really well right now. I don't think there's a need to get him straight in. You can see how he's going to fit in the side. Yes, if you want to punt, if you've got a spare slot for 7.1 million, maybe you could go for him. But I just think he's probably going to need to get his fitness up a bit because he hasn't played a consistent amount of matches for Arsenal. And we have to see how kind of rusty he is because, again, he hasn't played a lot of matches in recent times. So keep an eye on him, though. He transferred today. Could be one to watch. Sergio Aguero, I've put him in because last year I think I bigged him up a bit. Jesus is out. Now we've kind of learned that maybe Jesus will be back sooner than we thought, maybe 2 to 3 weeks, which would only really give Aguero 2 really good fixtures. And even after those 2 fixtures, they do turn a little bit. I think it's Burnley away, Leicester at home, and then Chelsea away, I think. Either way, there's a few tough fixtures in the 4 after Newcastle and West Brom. So I think Aguero looks good, but for most teams, if you've got a team similar to mine, or basically you've gone 3-5, it doesn't have to be similar to mine, but if you've gone 3-5-2 and you've got Kane and Vardy or Kane and Firmino, then it's going to take a bit of restructuring to get Aguero. And I think for 11.5 million, I think when I say this, people think that I don't think he's going to score, and I do think he'll score. I don't see how he can't in that Man City team with Newcastle and West Brom at home. But how many is he going to score for 11.5 million? Do we still think he's the guy that's going to get back-to-back hat-tricks like maybe we thought he could do a few seasons ago? I'm not so sure. I think he's regressed a bit now. Doesn't look like the player he once was. I think he's shown glimpses of it recently, but consistently he's not that man anymore. And I just think it's not worth ripping up your team to get him in. If you've got Morata and you've maybe got 1.5 million spare, you can get him in a bit easier, then maybe go for it. But generally, I'm not too keen on Aguero right now. I would love to hear your thoughts on this one, though, because I know a lot of people disagree with me. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Mahrez, basically, this is kind of Mahrez and all Leicester assets. They're about to go on a really good run of fixtures. Like I already said, you've got Vardy around 8.5 million. He could be a differential pick to Firmino, to Aguero, to Morata. I personally am very happy with Firmino right now, but Vardy's an option with the fixtures. Mahrez looks really good for 8.6 million. He's consistently ticking along. I think he's 4th for midfielders total points this season. He's not necessarily gone under the radar. We've noticed him. We've just always had another player we want to get in, or who's doing just as well. But for 8.6 million, For instance, in my own team, I'd look at maybe upgrading Son to him. So definitely check him out. And then in defence, you've got Maguire. Now, I had him earlier in the season. Big fan of his. He loves to make attacking runs. He is a centre-back, so those runs don't usually produce much. But he's always getting forward, trying to pass the ball forward. In the box, he's good for kind of headers and stuff, shots on goal. So I really like Maguire. But basically, Maguire, Mahrez, maybe even Schmeichel if you need a new goalie, and Vardy. I think Leicester are going into a really good set of fixtures. I think they're playing pretty well and definitely worth keeping an eye on. And I'll look to get Mahrez in maybe in the next couple of weeks. It depends. I'll go through my transfers soon. Liverpool riot. So in Game Week 23, they played Man City. I thought Man City were going to win that. I thought Liverpool could probably score because it's just the way they play the attack. But they just attacked all game. They pressed all game. And they basically did what no other team has done to Man City all season, which was to press them. And they made the defence make mistakes. And I think they've shown that they can do it without Coutinho. Now, my thinking is that in previous seasons, they always play the same formation. They play 4-3-3. They have an attacking front three of Firmino plus 2 pacey enough creative players. So it used to be Coutinho and Mane. And then if one of those two went missing, then it affected the whole team. Whereas this year, when Coutinho's been injured, they've had Salah and Mane. And then when Mane got injured, it was Coutinho and Salah. And obviously at times they played all 4 of them with Coutinho kind of playing deeper. So I think the key is that Salah's there this year, which is why Firmino's done so well, rather than the fact that Coutinho is now missing. So I think as long as those 3 stay fit, they'll be fine. Now, if Mane or Salah get injured, then I would worry about Firmino. But I guess in a short version, what I'm trying to say is, if you've got Liverpool assets, obviously no reason to get rid of him. Salah's been amazing all season. Firmino looks really good. And I'd really consider Firmino as a difference to Aguero. He's been scoring well, and he's like 2.7, 2.5 million cheaper, which is the difference from going from like a 5 million defender to Alonso, from Lingard up to Pogba if you wanted to make that move, Lingard to Son. Probably not a great time to get Son in, to be fair, but just as an example, that's the kind of thing that the money can do for you. So really rate Firmino and Liverpool right now, and they've got matches where now the teams are going to sit deep. Will they do can they do what they did against City? Will there be space to run in behind? We don't know. But they beat Swansea 5-0 at home. They're playing them away. I think they can do the business, to be honest. And yeah, Liverpool assets looking good is what I'm trying to say. And then lastly, we'll talk about Arnautovic and Lanzini now. A bit of a knee-jerk. They both did really well last week, but we kind of been bigging up Arnautovic since the double game week. Obviously, he only got the assist there. He missed one of the games, but he looks really good. I think with the fixtures they've got and how pretty good they're looking, I'd say right now, especially against the weaker teams, which is what they got in their run of fixtures. I think you probably need one of these players just because the value they are, the price they're at. My preference is, and obviously a little bit biased because I've already got him in my team and he got the most points last week, 16, is Arnautovic. The main reason is he's playing up front. Now, I don't always like midfielders who then go and play up front because it doesn't always equate to more points. Like Hazard, for example, if he plays number 9, false 9, whatever you want to call it, he doesn't do as well as when he plays on the wing. But some players, Arnautovic, for example, Sanchez did it for Arsenal last year. I don't know if Arnautovic is scoring better, but he can make that position his. He can do just as well there as he's doing from midfield. So he's right up the pitch. I think he's also said he needs to get more assists as well, which he did in the last game. He got 2 assists as well as a goal. So they're looking really good right now. And if you've missed out on their points, you didn't bring them to the double game week, I don't think it's too late. To be honest, I think Arnautovic is a better pick than Lingard right now, who a lot of people were bringing in last week. Probably not now because they got Burnley and Spurs away. But I think looking at Arnautovic with the fixtures, he's definitely someone you've got to consider. Not essential. I don't think there's many essential players apart from maybe Salah and Kane. But definitely look at them because West Ham's fixtures coming up are awesome. So that's kind of the main points that I wanted to cover this week for just FPL in general. If I've missed anything out that you want to ask me about, do it below. I'll try and get to as many comments as possible. It's a bit more difficult to get to individual teams because it takes a bit more thinking to go through what you're considering and what you're giving me. But if you've got like a broader question about FPL, maybe one of these points or whatever, let me know in the comments below and I'll try and get to as many as I can. Otherwise, let's go on to my team really quick. So So I'm really happy with this this team at the moment. Alonso, Jones and Otamendi looks like a really solid backline. They're just 3 players I can play every week. Obviously, Alonso's really attacking. Otamendi hit the bar in the last game, which was a bit frustrating. Hopefully, he's just signed a new contract. There'll be goals against against Newcastle at home. Just going back to goalkeeper, I suppose Pope is the kind of weakest link in my team, I think, right now. Burnley not keeping as many clean sheets as I'd like. Just had news today that Tom Heaton's back, so it could be time to get rid of Pope. I'll come on to the transfer thoughts in a minute, but he is definitely in my thoughts to get rid of. Midfield, again, I think looking pretty great right now. I'm a bit worried there's a disaster coming, maybe a couple of injuries, some drop of form, maybe, I don't know. We'll have to handle that as it comes. But Sterling and Salah, like 80 to 85% owned. Obviously not going to get rid of them, they're doing so well. Arnautovic, like I've just said, he looks brilliant right now. Great set of fixtures. I think the points are still coming with him, so happy to own him. Son is a bit different. He's got Southampton away, which is a nice fixture, and then he's got 3 tougher ones. Now, I had kind of set my sights on getting rid of him for sure, but now I'm looking at him thinking he's only 8.1 million. I got him for 8, I think, or 7.9. He's playing in a good team, a team that's playing well right now. He's in top form. He's cheap. He's nailed on by the looks of it. Now, if they switch to a back 5, that might change. Alderweireld comes in. Maybe Son gets dropped. We don't know yet. But Pochettino keeps bigging him up. He keeps taking his chances. He keeps scoring. He keeps assisting. I may just keep him through that run of games, bearing in mind as well that he's got a fixture in game week 28 when there's a blank. There's going to be a blank blank game week for a couple of teams. So we'll keep an eye on what happens there. But I think I might keep Son. Originally I was going to get rid, maybe upgrade to Mahrez. I might just keep him through the run. Now, yes, he's probably not going to get as many points during those fixtures, but if you can just get an assist here and there, a goal here or there over the 3, I'll be happy. And then Lingard, I got him in before his blank last week, so I'm not so bothered about that. I know a lot of people got him in and now they're frustrated because it's Burnley away, it's Spurs away, and he didn't get the points in the last game. But he did have a few assists against Stoke, or attempted assists. If Mata could finish better, then he would have been in the points. So I wouldn't worry too much about Lingard right now, but like I said, Sanchez could disrupt things in that kind of midfield area. And then up front, I've got Kane and Firmino. What more to say? And I've already said Kane looks in top form again. Kind of blanking a bit, but also getting double braces and hat-tricks kind of every other game or whatever it has been at the moment. So really my transfers this week are probably, I'm pretty much going to swap someone on the bench. I could do Pope to Adrian. Like I said, West Ham have got nice fixtures, but I'm more tempted by Pickford. So I could do Calvert-Lewin to Nias, who wants a move. I think Everton are happy to get rid of him or to let him transfer out from the club. We'll have to see where he goes. It looks like he's going to be a Premier League team, but I don't know for sure. So I'm a little bit hesitant to do Calvert-Lewin to Nias until I know. But it would free up some money, which would let me do Pope to Pickford. Now, I don't really want to use my 2 transfers because I've spoken last week about the January transfer window. I wanted to keep them rolling over, but that is an option. Otherwise, I could do me to Robertson, maybe Liverpool. Obviously with Van Dijk now, I think Robertson's looked really good, and I think he's probably going to keep his place ahead of Moreno because he's just done so well in his absence. So Elliott's a problem because he's out of the team now. He's come back from injury, but Darlow seems to have got his place. But I'm not too bothered about that. If I get Pickford, I can just play him every week. And like I said earlier, I think when I talked about Walcott, Everton have got a really nice run of fixtures. So for me, it'll probably be Calvert-Lewin to Nias. I'm not going to do it right now. I can't tell you for sure, but I'll tweet it out before when I've done it. And then captain choices. It's really between Kane and Salah. Now, I didn't get cold feet on Salah, but I was kind of thinking, let's see how he is without Coutinho. He comes against Man City. He wasn't expecting any points. He goes and scores and gets an assist. It's what he's done all season. So the guys on Who Got the Assist, if you don't follow them on Twitter. They do a podcast as well. And I love the way they put it. It's basically Kane's got the higher ceiling, Salah's got the higher floor, i.e. Kane, yes, he's probably, if he explodes, he's probably going to get more points than Salah would. Salah's probably about a 13, 14-point man, for example. Kane's like 17 when he gets his hat-trick. But Salah's got the higher floor, i.e. he's going to score more points more often, so he's more consistent. So while Kane does get these hat-tricks, does get braces, he also blanks a lot. I think he's blanked like 50% of his games, where it's a bit lower for Salah. So you're almost... He'll probably blank when I say this, but you're almost guaranteeing a points return from Salah, but it might not be as explosive with Kane. So I should have been captain in Salah, like we all should have, for weeks now, and I haven't. And I think they've got a nice run of fixtures. He still looks really good. He's getting chances. He's creating chances. He's got Firmino and Mane around him. I think I'm going to captain him this week, even though Kane could explode. I just hope that because I own both, I'm not going to get too punished. Kane will be the most captains as well. So if you want to play safe, he's probably the one to go for. You'd assume he'd be more captain than Salah. So if anything, I'm taking a bit of a calculated risk, hoping that Kane does blank, so captainers don't get nothing. Then maybe Salah gets a bit of a point haul and I get a bit of a bump up the rankings. So we'll see. I may change that again. I will tweet out if I do change that. But right now I'm on Salah. So let's leave it there. I know this was a bit of a long one. I hope that's okay. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Let me know about the format and stuff if you're still enjoying this way of doing things. Just a really quick note, because I forgot to say it and people will ask. I finished Game Week 23 on 92 points and I'm ranked 24,999, which is a really satisfying number just inside top 25k. So we're on the up. Hopefully I can build on that towards the end of the season. That cut my rank from 51k. So doing alright at the moment. But yeah, I'll leave it there. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like. Always appreciate it. Comment below anything I've said in this video, anything you want to know. Share it with your friends. Subscribe if you're new around here. But I'll leave it there. Thanks for watching. Cheers all.